Hello? Is anybody out there? Well, for those of you who decided to stay in this morning and not making plans to head out for the nearest midnight screenings of MLP the movie, welcome back to Hoennshy by Fenix, Chapter 13, Variants. And yes, I'm planning on making my own sojourn in about the next few minutes, or tomorrow, or Saturday. So let's get this over with. The midday sun shone upon the three mares as they made away up their quiet pathway. The trail around a quiet sea as a large path lay above them, supported by large concrete beams in the water. Only a few birds flew overhead, leaving the trail feeling desolate. Fluttershy tried her best to keep the armored stallion out of her thoughts, but the silence between her and her friends made it difficult. She looked down on the ground in nervous ticks, wondering what to do. Rainbow trotted her head with her head confidently forward, while Peaky trotted along Fluttershy. "What makes that officer so certain that those ponies will want to talk to us about this?" Rainbow asked, breaking Fluttershy out of her nervous fit. "The whole city was just burned down, and we even have talked for the past few hours." "Maybe they won't," Fluttershy spoke up. Sergeant Blair ahead of them as another vehicle barreled past them on the road above towards the once standing Slateport City. "Maybe we should focus on staying away from that station until Twilight brings us home." "I guess," Rainbow said dejectedly, as the three trotted around the final bend. The side of the buildings rose over the horizon as the trail straightened, giving Fluttershy a straight line of sight to Mauville City. Not another pony nor Pokemon was on the road, warning her that the refugees had already arrived and dispersed throughout the city. Fluttershy dug through her bag, searching for any food she had left, but ended up empty-hoofed. She sighed, placing the bag away before continuing on the road. Before they could clearly see the city, Fluttershy's Pokedex began to beep, luring the three and wiping the bored expressions off their faces. "Quick, open it!" Piggy hollered. "I wonder what the next gym leader will be like." "Didn't we get to second gym?" Fluttershy asked, confused as he pulled out the metallic noisemaker. "I know that the gym in town was boarded up, but I thought we needed a second gym pass to advance." "You were called into the fifth gym right away, remember? I don't think this thing is following any real pattern here." "If there's one thing I can't stand is sequence breakers." "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sequence break. It's just a habit with me. I do it on Metroid all the time." "My apologies, Fluttershy." Without further interruptions, Fluttershy opened the Pokedex and listened to the pre-recorded message that blared from the device. Once again, the message glitched when saying her name, but continued to normal. With a beep, the message ended, and the turquoise screen faded to black. 9 p.m. tomorrow. "Great. That gives us time to train and rest up," Rainbow said, increasing her speed down the path. "Does he think we should talk to Stephanie before we do anything? That stallion is probably still looking for me, and I don't want to make a scene without knowing how to approach this," Fluttershy said in a cautious tone. "I don't seem like that," Piggy stated. "Oh, maybe she knows about the next gym. Also where to find some place to eat. I am starving." "Hopefully, I won't interrupt anything." "This calls so we can focus on the gym fight sooner," Rainbow said, annoyed. Fluttershy stopped and lifted her forehoof, cycling through several screens before finding the phone application. She clicked a button on the device's side as Stephanie's name showed on the screen. The screen went dark, then brought up a strange rotating circle as a long tone ran through the speakers. Before long, Stephanie's face appeared on the screen. It looked like she was in a library, with tall shelves of books lining the walls. "Hello? Who's this?" Stephanie asked before looking at Fluttershy. "Oh, it's you, Fluttershy. How are you doing? Wait, what happened to you? You don't look too well." I'm fine," Fluttershy responded, puzzled at how she could see the Twilight analog through the Pokenav. "About this." She went over around her face, showcasing her drooping eyelids. "I need to talk to you about it." "Shoot, I'm sure I can tell what's going on. I mean, I've been a female for the past 28 years or so I know how that kind of stuff works." Fluttershy stammered when she spoke up. "No, not about that. About what happened to me and my friends." "Ah, that makes more sense. Was the gym rough over at Newford? I didn't think Brawley had it in him. Oh, did you hear the news this morning? There's a fire over at Slateport. You might want to be careful when you head over there." Stephanie began taking the books off the shelves and flipping through them as she spoke. "We already went to Slateport. That's what I want to talk to you about." "You did? What happened?" she asked, looking up at the screen again. It's a long story, but there was a stallion in weird blue armor that burned the city down. He was looking for me and said that he knew everything about the assassin. I don't know what to do. Hmm. Somebody picked up a brown blue book and opened it, scanning her over the words as she read. She reminded Fluttershy of Twilight so much. It was hard for her to separate the two, as she didn't pay attention to how she spoke. That's strange. There's a bunch of scribbles in this book, and they look like my handwriting, hoof writing. Yeah, that's a good replacement. What does it say? Fluttershy asked curiously. Well, it says something about a spark, a blueprint, a colon, and sessions. It doesn't seem to go farther than their definitions, though. That's what he talked to me about. He said I was the blueprint, he was the colon, and my friends were sparks. I had no idea what he was talking about, though. Maybe this will help. It says that the blueprint is the one who first enters here, while the sparks occur when another from their point of origin enters the same session. Must be a glitch in the system, so maybe that's why everyone's acting so weirdly. What's the colon? Well, it doesn't say. I'm not sure how accurate these definitions are, since there are no places to cross-reference them. Judging by what I know about languages, colon seems to be an older version of the word cold, so maybe a chosen person, or pony is what he's talking about. These definitions had to have been written during other sessions when the sparks occurred. I still need more information. I'll have to put in more research to get back to you on it. Do you any chance might know the stallion? The one who? The one in armor? Yes. Do you have any description of him other than he was a stallion? Oh, I do. Fluttershy dug through her bag, pulled out the shrapnel, then broke off the stallion's armor, then held it in front of the camera. In the sunlight, the armor shone with a brilliant azure hue. This broke off his armor when he tried to touch me. There was a slight pause as the scholar thought with one eyebrow raised. It came off when he touched you? Interesting. To be honest, I don't know much about the armor, but I do know someone at Malville University who should know about his piece. His name is Dr. Maxwell. He's a professor in archaeology and ancient cultures. You should go talk to him about it. Of course, if Dr. Maxwell doesn't work, we could always go for Dr. Yui, for Dr. Winter, for Dr. Barton, for Dr. Chang, and Dr. Kusanada, and Dr. One More Gundam Wing reference to Trixie will kick your arse! Thank you. First I said with a slight smile. I'll call you again if anything happens. I'll talk to you then. The screen went blank as Stephanie hung up the phone. Fluttershy placed her hoof on the ground and looked over to her two friends. Piggy began to hop down the road, leaving Fluttershy and Rainbow to catch up with the bouncing pony. Why didn't you ask him about the gym, or what to do about the stallion? Rainbow demanded, causing Fluttershy to lower her head in shame. I don't know. I don't want to call her again so soon. It'd probably be rude. That's fine. I'm sure we can figure out what to do ourselves, Piggy chimed in. It can't be that hard to keep a low profile in a sea of thousands. How do you know there are 1,000? Look at the buildings, silly. No city with this many tall buildings has a small amount of ponies in it. I guess. Fluttershy stared as Smallville City came into full view. Buildings and ponies were strewn across the city as far as the eye could see. Buildings towered over any that Fluttershy had ever seen. Various assortments of Pokemon followed their like ponies as they went down sidewalks, stopping at various stands and buildings. The three men left the path and continued going straight, losing themselves in the sea of concrete and ponies that littered the walkways. Fluttershy lightly coughed as particles of dust and smog entered her windpipe. This place is huge, Rainbow said excitedly. Wait, how are we going to find those ponies with Sleepport? Let's just ask around, Fee suggested, hopping to a group of student ponies. Fluttershy couldn't help but feeling that something was wrong with the city. She couldn't place her hoof why. Maybe May's memories were permeating through her thoughts, and the city was somehow different than the memory suggested. But trying to focus on that, when it felt like every pony was staring at her, made her drop that particular train of thought. As Pinky continued to press their business ponies, they looked at her and their noses scrunched as the grimace look washed over their faces. Hey, have you seen any pony for Sleepport around here?
Have you bathed lately? I can smell you from here,
one of the ponies stated. They proceeded to escape their rancid question up as they turned to our intersection just up ahead. Huh, well that's not very nice, Piggy said, putting her up to her chin in thought. To be fair, we haven't exactly taken care of ourselves since we got here, Rainbow said, smelling her clothes and forcing her head away as she took a sniff. Yeah, my jacket smells fishy.
Tonight we should clean our stuff at the Pokemon Center. Maybe we have soap or something to put on this.
Fluttershy suggested, taking Alice and her bandana off her head. The bandana was still wet from the Gyarados' carnage storm, making Fluttershy question the state of her attire. Never had to wash any clothing since Rarity always cleaned her dresses after parties.
We should keep looking.
With one unsuccessful questioning, the mares kept at their pace, making sure to keep their distance as they asked their ponies. As the three searched, they burst into a sea of bodies, each going in every way. No pony was to speak to them as they went further to Mauville City.
Excuse me, please.
Fluttershy pleaded to passers-by.
It'll only take a second of your time.
No pony paid attention to the Pegasus. This isn't getting us anywhere, Rainbow exclaimed. We should just focus on the gym fight and improving our Pokemon so we can smash that stallion's armor facing the next time he shows up.
I still want to find out what happened. We really should try to find out more about what we're dealing with.
Fine, Rainbow protested, continuing her search. At the corner of an intersection, Rainbow spotted a young mare, standing with bags under her eyes. Her eyes started back and forth before she bolted down the road, toppling over several ponies in the process. Let's ask her.
Okie dokie, Dashing!
Piggy said as he burst for the sidewalk and ran across the street with the mare in sight.
Are you sure?
Fluttershy asked, noticing both Rainbow and Pinky were already gone.
Wait for me.
Fluttershy yelled as he followed behind Pinky, watching as the frazzled mare sped down the road. The frightened mare looked back for a split second before turning down an alleyway. Fluttershy watched as her friends turned down the alley, following close behind as they kept their eyes out for their target. The alley was dark, covered in grime and discarded trash. Fluttershy tentatively tried down the alley, hearing a soft wail in the distance. As they went further down, they spotted the mare with a blood creating wall. She struck down and shook as he approached, whimpering as the three halted. Fluttershy didn't want to get closer, seeing as the pony was stressed enough without her and her friends bearing down on her.
Stay back, please.
The mare pleaded, shielding her eyes with her hoof as her voice cracked.
We aren't here to hurt you. We were just curious about what you were doing.
Pinky explained with a warm smile.
Why? Why me? We're looking for somebody. Anybody from Sleeport that can help us.
Fluttershy said, slowly resuming her approach.
I'm from Sleeport. What do you want? I'm sorry for bringing this up, but do you know anything about that armored stallion?
Fluttershy inched closer, trying to break the cold tension surrounding them.
Not really. What do you want to know?
The mare's eyes dried up as she spoke, voice easy to crack as well.
I can't really say. Please. I just want to know. All I remember is my husband running to my house and saying we need to leave. I grabbed all the supplies I could, my foes, and ran out the house. All I remember is that watching a Gyarados start torching everything in sight.
She began sobbing, making Fluttershy take a step back.
My husband said he told him that he'll kill any pony that stayed at Sleeport. Did he say any pony? I think he said any one. I guess I'm still recovering from it.
She lightly chuckled.
I must embarrass myself by running like that, huh?
The mare stiffened as he looked up at the equestrians.
You don't know anything either.
Fluttershy said, disappointed.
Well, do you know anything about the gym here? Are you Pokemon trainers?
The mare's demeanor seemed to change as he wiped the tears from her eyes. She looked more positive than before.
What's your match? 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Fluttershy said, relieved that the conversation had lost its awkward air.
Wow, so you're in a prime time slot. Lucky. I'll be sure to watch it when it comes on.
Fluttershy looked at the white mare, puzzled.
What? Are there stands like in Peel Park's gym? You don't know about this. The matches are televised for ponies to watch at home. 7 and 9 at night are primetime slots, which bring in lots of crowds. I get the floater ticket in anyway. Televised?
Fluttershy stuttered, her body shaking with nervousness.
What kind of Pokemon do they use?
I think it's an extra type. She might have changed it lately, though. She doesn't want to keep with one team for long.
Thanks,
Fluttershy said, as the mare stood and brushed herself off, wiped the stream of tears from her eyes.
I'll keep that in mind. Sorry for letting you. I need to go. My husband is waiting for me.
The mare said, squeezing past the three equestrians, trotted down the alleyway as nothing happened. Fluttershy stood perplexed, wondering if any other interaction from the Sleeport would have been so odd. Now that we have that, let's go get some training in, Rainbow suggested, hovering slightly off the ground. You have a gym fight to win, and you can't look weak in front of all those ponies.
Right.
Fluttershy groaned, still shivering as they left the alley, and joined the remainder of the removing crowd. They were sandwiched between a stallion and a business suit, walking with a large grass snake slithering beside him, The kid in a baseball cap with a rat placed firmly on his head was like ours. The sight of the serpent made the yellow Pegasus wary, causing her to dart her eyes to the other side of the street to avoid it altogether. As much as he was revealed about a million new animals, reality of the night before was too fresh in her mind.
Does he think we should check the university for that professor first? I mean, I know I have a gym fight coming up, but I feel like we really should be more comfortable if we knew about that stallion first.
Fluttershy, we're disgusting at the moment, Rainbow stated bluntly. We should train now while our clothes are for a week. Then let us up at the Pokemon Center tonight and speak with him tomorrow. Pinky and Fluttershy nodded in agreement, turning on the street that led them back down the route they entered the city from. I kind of hope Rainbow does get a couple of gym battles and actually win and actually gets enough to compete. Because if there's one thing I always wanted to see in a Pokemon anime is, well, we all know how the story goes. Ash meets a couple of new companions. Said companions usually are somebody who's more interested in breeding or some random new thing that really doesn't affect Ash's journey, and then the chick who 9 times out of 10 will participate in the contest. One thing I kind of always wished would be for Ash to meet a girl who's does into the game as much as he is, and she starts winning badges. Granted, this means we would have 2 gym battles almost every episode, or she could win a gym fight off screen while Ash waits. Then, after the gym fight's done, if she wins all the badges, she and Ash have a fight. I mean, we always see Ash being with these rival trainers, or a rival trainer that just happens to pop up at the very end of the arc to pull out the Deus Ex Machina to kick Ash's ass. But what about a trainer that's been with us throughout the whole show? And they're the one that fights Ash in the finals. That would actually really amp up the tension and give us something different. But it's the Pokemon anime, it's hard to ask for anything different. The trail that led to the slate port remained desolate, giving the 3 mares plenty of room to spar. A cool breeze blew through the trees, rustling the leaves and making Fluttershy feel at ease. Ooh, nice rhyme. The 3 trotted a ways down the road, making sure they were far away from the city to not cause a ruckus before setting up for a fight. Not that fighting in the city would raise any suspicions. You gotta ask that. Are there rules about fighting in the city? Or fighting inside the town? So that way Pokemon attacks don't end up destroying buildings? Iris looked up from Fluttershy's hand and landed on the pavement, shaking his legs as it felt some pain from the impact. Fluttershy dug through her bag and tossed Wolfer's Pokeball, letting him breathe to so much fresh air before bringing the 2 together in a huddle. Rainbow threw her 2 Pokeballs from her leather jacket pocket, bringing out Amy and Lurk on the trail. With a cocky smile, she brought the 2 Pokemon together and huddled like Fluttershy, discussing strategies and tactics he used against her friend's type disadvantaged creatures. Pinky released Lady Gummington from her Pokeball, long before they released the tail, and they let her climb onto her tail with its infantile teeth as they approached the destination. On his side, Pinky stripped Lady off her tail and set her down, waiting for her 2 friends to cease strategizing.
Are you 2 ready?
Pinky asked impatiently.
Lee and I have been ready for minutes now. You 2 are just talking. Hold on, Pinky. I'm almost ready,
Fluttershy said, bringing her attention to her 2 Pokemon.
How strong are you 2 now?
Fluttershy whispered to her companions.
I know Rainbow trained you 2 while I was asleep, but how far did she push you?
Fluttershy put her hose to her mouth and thought, wondering if Rainbow's training was enough to take down a gym leader on live television. She shuddered at the thought as she looked up, taking notice of a hoof tapping Rainbow Dash. I'm ready, Fluttershy. We don't have all day, Rainbow called out, pushing Ulrika to the forefront of the race.
Alright, I'm ready,
Fluttershy announced, letting Wolfer take the helm. The 2 Pokemon were around the same size, yet Ulrika's large steel head plate made it look like much larger compared to the tiny wolf.
Brianna! Brianna! Aaron!
Both Pokemon began to pace around the 2 trainers, everyone making sure to keep its shield facing Wolfer at all times. They paced for several rotations, each not wanting to make the first move. Fluttershy looked at Rainbow, who hovered in the air with a confident, almost cocky smile plastered on her face. She tilted her head down, looking at Fluttershy with a fierce gaze as to make the first move. The old Pegasus didn't want to reach for her Pokedex to find out how to fight the creature, but decided against it. She didn't want to rely on a piece of technology when it came to an animal with her talent when it does work just as well.
Still playing would make it hard for me to attack directly, especially with that shield present,
She thought, trying to come up with a competent strategy. Eureka! Bash it! Run! Rainbow commanded, prompting the air on to charge straight at Wolfer, giving the wolf ample time to dodge the sluggish Cave Dweller. With a slight sidestep, Potiana dodged Eureka's charge and opened its mouth, watching its teeth give off a wispy black glow. Looked up at Fluttershy, waiting for a command as it took notice of Eureka's healthy's turn. Quickly, Fluttershy ignored her previous conviction and took out her Pokedex, pointing at the wolf's teeth. The device beeped, showing Wolfer's teeth on the screen with the caption, "Bite on the bonnet." Again, with more weight behind it! Run! Rainbow called out, making Eureka spread down at Wolfer with a slightly faster pace. The deciding image, the Pokedex listed the attack specifics, including its type.
A dark type move,
Fluttershy thought aloud, watching Eureka continue to feel feeble attempts at chasing down the fleet-footed lupine.
I don't want to do this, but Wolfer, use bite! Potiana!
As Master's command, Wolfer leapt over the sluggish Eureka and opened its mouth, once again revealing the dark-type bite. It shot down on the Aeron, causing it to yelp out in pain as Wolfer snarled and scratched at its steel interior.
How can you do that? You can't bite through steel!
Rainbow protested. Welcome to my world, Rainbow. You would, you wouldn't think certain type of advantages work, but they do. I mean, why does ice work against dragons? What's this light Pinky, who seemed to take joy in the Stallion Pegasus' annoyance? Eureka, shake it off! Aeron! Aeron tried his hardest to throw Wolfer off of him, flailing and turning about. But Potiana refused to let it go, keeping his teeth stuck into Eureka as the steel-clad Pokemon dried itself out. With a thud, Eureka slumped to the ground, giving up the fight against his quicker adversary. Really? You're going down like that? Rainbow complained, watching the Wolfer open up its jaw, taking the Aeron out of his clutches. Aeron! Potiana! Well, I got sell the Wolfer danced over to Fluttershy, sitting down and letting its tongue hang out. Fluttershy reached down and pet him, drawing a tense smile from the beast. With a sigh, Rainbow returned Eureka back to his Pokeball. Phew! Looking down and putting a hoof on her stomach. Hey, Fluttershy, why don't we have the main event fight? Then grab something to eat. I need a win. Fluttershy rubbed her stomach at the mention of food, brought up the fact she hadn't eaten all day. With no money, it was easier for the Pegasus to keep her attention on more important matters, anything that didn't include food. Fortunately, she still needed a meal.
I'm fine with that,
Fluttershy confirmed, throwing out her wrist into the center into the spar. Indy quickly hopped to the ring. Get like! Ted! Ruffling his feathers in anticipation. Unlike the previous two combatants, the Pokemon stood still and stared each other down, each growling in an intimidating manner. Oh, very intimidating. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present you a Torchic growling.
Time!
It's about as intimidating as an Eevee using roar. I said no, I raise Eevees. Rainbow seemed to join in, staring Fluttershy into a sharp, dagger-like gaze. How come Rainbow was the Pokemon frightened the timid Pegasus? Scorch him!
Time!
Rainbow called out, prompting Indy to expel flames from its mouth. Alice diced as quickly as he could, but was pelted by burning embers. As the plume of smoke rose from the turtle, he shook himself off and began to charge at the orange fowl.
Use tackle!
Fluttershy commanded, watching as intently as the two faced off. The nervous Fluttershy usually felt for the battle seemed to have disappeared. Her only thoughts were that of the armored stallion's presence, making her care less about her old ways and made her embrace the new to survive. Suddenly she felt she would never have done in Ponyville. A small weight fell in the pit of her stomach as she thought about it, but it seemed easier to ignore. Indy skidded across the ground on his back, quickly hopping back to his talons and shaking off the heavy blow. Flames once again flew through the ring, scattering across the ground into Alice's face. Dirtwig! Dirtwig staggered back, desperately trying to shake out the burning cinders that clung to his body.
Use your shell to block it,
Fluttershy yelled, Before Alice could react, another wave of embers clung to the turtle, making him stand with his head hung low. He began to breathe heavily. First, his eyes showed pain.
Try tackling him again,
The nurse Pegasus suggested. One thing Alice burst from the ground, slamming Indy in the gut. Wait! The torch flew across the wing, bouncing off the ground while struggling to get up. With a confident smile, the turtle turned to Fluttershy. She smiled back, but her expression turned to worry as he turned his head down. A comfortable pull of saliva on the ground. His breathing quickly labored wheezes as he collapsed to the ground, shaking and crying in pain. Quickly, Fluttershy flew to distress Alice, trying to snowswell whatever was happening to her Pokemon. Wait a minute, is this?
Alice, what's wrong?
Fluttershy asked, getting no response from the pained turtwig. So he looked up the rainbow, who looked at her with a worried gaze, same with Pinky. As Fluttershy turned to Alice again, a bright light burst from the turtle. Do 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 bum 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 da dum 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 da dum 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 dum. As Fluttershy turned to Alice again, a small white wisp surrounded Alice, making Fluttershy extremely worried, yet curious of what was happening. With a fierce cry, Alice arched back in pain as his body began to violently shiver. Da dum bum. Without warning, the scales that covered the body began to shed off, exposing green skin. His body began to grow in size, easily doubling or tripling its original size. With a disgusting squelching sound, new green scales pierced from his body, releasing a sickly green ooze that dripped down the fresh scales, causing Fluttershy to put her hoof to her mouth in disgust. As Alice ceased its unannounced growth spurt, a fisher light split lengthwise down the shell, cracking in two. It fell to the earth, making a new way for the shell to emerge from the turtle's back, round across the entire length of his body, covering everything from the head to the tip of his tail. The shell severed a small sprout of Alice's head as the two skeletal scales jutted out from the sides of its jaw. Before the metamorphosis was complete, two torso-like bushes cracked the shell near its center, raising itself comfortably on the turtle's back. With a final gasp and head held up, Alice fell to the ground as the white glow surrounding its body faded away. Do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Congratulations! Your turtwig evolved into a grottle. You know, that's impressive. I've never seen Pokemon evolution described in such a really in-depth manner. I hate to see what this person would describe my Charizard's evolution.
Jar.
The three equestrians stood with their mouths agape, staring at Alice blinking with no words to speak of. Fluttershy gazed at the now giant turtle in a confused stupor, unable to draw any conclusion as to what exactly happened. As she snapped herself out of her trance, he hastily took her Pokedex out, pointing at the transformed Alice. The screen showed Alice's familiar information, but a species struck out to her. What had normally shown Turtwig, now showed the word Grottle. Fluttershy thought she would be more shocked by this transformation, but Alice's change from gecko to turtle seemed more unlikely. Curiously, she pressed the button next to the species' name, bringing her to the screen which showed the species as a whole. As he read, it stated that Grottle was the evolved form of Turtwig, confusing her further.
How can a turtle evolve? They don't go through that kind of metamorphosis.
Trust me, Fluttershy, Pokemon evolutions make more sense than Digimon evolutions. Seriously, Gatomon, you are a kitty cat. How do you evolve into a freaking angel? No. How does Goemon go from little sea lion thing to freaking whatever the heck Ikazumon is? Seriously, Digimon evolutions do not make sense. You don't know what they're going to go through. Then again, you don't know what you're going to get. As long as you proceed to do some specific tasks for each of your Digimon, you might end up turning that little Patamon into freaking Angemon, or you might turn that cute little Patamon into Devimon. That's right, if you mess up with Patamon, you might get one of the most badass angels ever, or you might get the Satan. No, literally, the next step of Devimon's evolution is Myotismon. What just happened? Rainbow asked, finally breaking from her stupor. I mean, that was cool, but what happened exactly?
It says here that he evolved, but turtles don't change like this.
I repeat, you should see Digimon.
Really? You, you are just a little cactus. Cactus. How do you grow into a freaking fairy?
Yeah, and geckos don't turn to turtles either, Rainbow quipped. Does your Pokedex say anything about it?
Hold on, let me check.
Fluttershy says he scrambled to find the explanation. After going through several screens, he came upon a massive list of words and their definitions. She scrolled down and then clicked when evolution was highlighted, bringing up its definition.
Here we go.
Fluttershy began reading.
Evolution. When occurs when a Pokemon reaches a certain stage of maturity and strength. As it reaches this point, a Pokemon will soon change, substantially increasing its natural power as well as possibly changing its type. An evolved Pokemon may learn more powerful moves, but will learn moves slower than its less evolved forms. While some creatures evolve more than once, some may not evolve at all. Evolution is always a harrowing and exciting experience for any new trainer.
Yeah, and if you're watching the Pokemon show, you can answer readily. Does that mean Amy and Lorica could evolve into something amazing and powerful? Well, Blaziken is badass. Rainbow asked with an excited tone.
That was amazing.
Piggy finally blurted out. Let's go over to the pastel Aris.
You're seeing anything like it?
Whereas just said what it was, Rainbow explained, once he got Aris' eyes open. With a large yawn, the Grotto got to his feet and tested out his new body.
Grotto!
Let's try out his new power!
Wait, what?
Fluttershy asked, turning his eye to Pegasus.
Does it take you some rest first?
Look at him! He's fine! Alice popped back to the ground, closing his eyes and snoring loudly.
Yes, I don't think...
Iggy, use Ember! Rainbow commanded, causing Iggy to see a flame from his mouth again. He and Alice saw her on his massive body. Slowing up his eyes, looking casually at the burning cinders. With one quiet swipe, he brushed off the cinders and got to his feet. Rainbow's face grew pale as Aris bucked his head upwards, smashing Iggy into the air, over Rainbow's head and into the bush far off the path. Poor thing! Grotto! With a sharp exhale, the lumbering giant fell back to sleep, paying no attention to the scrambling Rainbow Dash as he rumbled through the bushes on the side of the trail.
That was... incredible.
Rainbow squeaked, slowly approaching the slumbering Aris. She patted her hose on his shell, hearing a loud, contented rumble. At this point, she was just happy that Aris still acted the same as she did before. We need to evolve all our Pokemon, Rainbow stated bluntly, rising out of the bush with a very dazed Iggy on her back. If these things can evolve more than once, can you imagine how powerful they could be? Do you think that's why Gyarados was so powerful? Rainbow used to see Gyarados as the unevolved form.
Magikarp, Magikarp, Magikarp.
Oh, I didn't evolve this one because I wanted to keep him around just for shits and giggles.
Magikarp.
He also won't leave. Carpy, return.
That will explain a lot.
Piggy said, picking up Lady and holding a crocodile out in front of her.
Wonder what she would turn into. Whatever it is, probably something massive.
No, girls, what we need is an electric type. Rainbow, you control the storms. You get a Raichu. Fluttershy, you're also a Pegasus. Go get a Zapdos. This Gyarados will be down in 5 minutes.
How about we go get them food and clean up for tomorrow?
Fluttershy suggested, calling Aris back to her Pokeball. A small part of wondered how she would feel without Aris outside with her, but an empty stomach stopped that train of thought short. Yeah, this is probably a good place to stop. Besides, we should get to the Pokemon Center early, see if we can catch a gym fight. Rainbow said, letting Iggy on her back. Piggy hoisted Lady up to her head, letting the Totodile sit on her head as Fluttershy tried slightly alongside Wolfer. Fluttershy's nerves called a bit as he traveled back to sea. Alice's newfound strength reassuring her as her scheduled fight drew nearer. The moon rose on Mauville as the 3 mares finished eating. A mass of yellow, halogen lights littered the streets as brightly colored billboards and illuminated star fronts drew their attentions and the sky grew pitch black. Unlike Peelberg and Dewford after dark, planes continued to flood the streets, hollering and growing more rambunctious as the night went on. Fluttershy gazed in awe, watching lights strung up from the largest skyscrapers and a large white haze in the distance.
The plan to win is to get some kind of money, right?
Piggy asked, curious about the aforementioned plan.
That free food was nice, but I don't think we'll be that lucky again.
Well, that's part of it. But Fluttershy's nearly 12 hours. Could wipe the floor with other Pokemon that gym leader's got. Rainbow pursued, leading her way through the mass of ponies. As he tried, Fluttershy caught sight of several street performers putting on a show. Only a handful of ponies stopped to watch them juggle or play drums with plastic buckets. The lack of a crowd gave Fluttershy a small sense of relief about the next gym of fight, but still had her downs.
Hold on,
Fluttershy said.
what's the plan? The matches are televised and that stallion could be watching.
We're stuck here until Twilight gets us out, right? We need to find out everything we can about this place, and how these animals fight so we can survive long enough for her to bring us home. Rainbow stated as they crossed the street, and the orange hoof of the roof of the Pokemon Center came into view. We go in, get that gym leader slit the feet, and by the time that jerk gets here, we'll already be gone. If we keep moving, we'll hit him when he least suspected.
But he said he knew.
By the way, what time is it? Aren't the prime time bounces about to begin?
Well,
First I looked at her Pokénav.
it's 7:14.
We're already missing it? Rainbow realized, quickening her pace. We had to hurry. I need to see what or who the gym leader looks like.
Might not even be an analog.
Fireside stated, weaving through the bustling crowd, apologizing at every turn.
Whoever it is, it's probably going exciting to see on television.
Vicky said, quickly riding to the curve, flooring the crowd altogether.
It says over here.
When the Pokemon started drawing closer, Fireside began running through the possibilities of analog in her head. She was innately curious to see what Pinky and Rainbow's analogs would be like, or if she had one of her own. Applejack was still up in the air, or could be a pony she never thought of. They crossed two more rows and found themselves sliding across glass doors of the Pokemon Center, waiting for them to open as white light invited them inside. The doors opened, allowing the three to trot in as they saw a massive crowd of Pokemon ponies staring at something in the corner. As they settled in, the crowd roared and several ponies gave each other high hooves and turned back to the corner. Curious, Fluttershy trotted over, intended to catch a glimpse of whatever was happening. The sound of cheering and laughter drowned out the sound as he could only make out small sections of the screen in between the excited crowd.
What's going on? Is this a gym match?
Fluttershy asked, guessing a few Fenix to turn and face her.
Yeah, and the Challenger's kicking her butt.
The yellow earth pony exclaimed, clinching back to the more of the mats.
Is there any room so I can see? I can't make out anything.
Fluttershy asked. You should have got here sooner, a great unicorn said.
Maybe some ponies will make room after the 7 o'clock match.
Fluttershy said, hoping to catch just one look at Mauville's gym leader star. It's worth a shot, Rainbow said before tapping the great unicorn on his shoulder. Hey, any chance of squeezing in here once this match is over? The stallion laughed.
You're joking, right? You have to get here at least an hour before it begins to see anything.
He scanned them over.
You're Pokemon trainers, right? Why don't you just buy a ticket and see it live?
What makes you think we're trainers? Rainbow asked.
You smell like sweat seawire,
He said, turning back to the mares. Rainbow scoffed at the stallion, but thought it was as good as pony to ask. Can you at least tell us the gym leader's name?
It's what?
Watson,
Fluttershy interrupted, prompting the two conversing ponies to stare at the dumbfounded mare.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt any pony.
Whatever, just leave me alone.
The stallion turned away again, before jumping in celebration as the rest of the crowd roared in excitement. Fluttershy held her hoof in embarrassment, wondering if she could somehow stop May's memories from surfacing at such inappropriate times. Hey, could anyone tell us who the gym leader is? Rainbow's question became lost in a sea of exciting ponies. Causing Rainbow to turn downwards, leading to the stairs. Come on, let's get cleaned up for tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
Pinky said, following the side Pegasus downstairs.
Wait, shouldn't we?
Fluttershy trailed off before reaching the front desk, asking the nurse if the Pokemon Center had accommodations for them that night. After a quick nod from the nurse, Fluttershy headed downstairs, noticing the building's larger basement in comparison to the Peelbergs as he made her way down. A dozen ponies were sprawled on the floor, some sleeping and some talking or playing with their Pokemon. To the left, some sinks and faucets were protruding from the wall, along with some cots and blankets pushed off to the side. Next to the sinks were several white, box-like machines with portable windows on the floors. Curious, Fluttershy walked over and saw one of them with clothes tumbling inside. A small bell rung, prompting an orange Pegasus to trot over and take the clothing out. With a look of annoyance, the pony fed her clothing into a basket and sat down near her partner.
Excuse me.
Fluttershy called out, watching the Pegasus' attention.
Is this where you wash clothes? I've never done it before.
A little confused, the mare trotted over to Fluttershy.
You look like you're my age. How come you've never lost clothes before? Well, where I come from, we don't normally wear clothes. They're more for special
Fluttershy caught the mare's eyes, noticing her sitting uncomfortably.
occasions. Can you help me?
As long as you don't stand there naked in front of me, I can, the Orbs Pegasus said.
I only have one pair of clothes and...
Here! The annoyed Pegasus took out a pair of grayish-blue leggings with a red-collared shirt with thin vertical stripes out from her basket and threw it at Fluttershy's head. Put those on, then come back here with those rags you have on. She slightly sniffed the air, recalling as the scent pierced her nostrils.
What is that, fish? Oh, I'll be right back,
Fluttershy said, blushing in embarrassment. She went to the other side of the stairs where no pony was looking and stripped her clothes off, using them to dab any filth or perspiration from her yellow coat before dirtying the clean attire. Feeling moderately cleaner, she donned her new clothes and carried her traveling attire to the waiting mare. Okay, first off, Lee, the mare proceeded to show Fluttershy the ins and outs of using a washing machine and dryer as both Rainbow Dash and Pinkie listened in and watched. As the machine worked their cycles, the three equestrians and generous Pegasus and her partner sat down to chat. They introduced themselves to each other in the roaring, excited crowd above them, threatening to down the conversation. So, who's the gym leader in the city? Rainbow asked, tapping her hoof impatiently. You don't know who she is? I thought every pony has seen her battle at least once. The orange Pegasus orchard-colored stallion, his friend asked. We're new around here. Fluttershy has a match tomorrow with her at 9, Rainbow explained. That's great. You can see what she looks like in person, the orange Pegasus exclaimed. I don't want to spoil her something so magical. I'm sure you'll love her. Amazing stage presence.
What's her name?
Fluttershy asked, hoping to at least get that much out of him. Considering that Watson sounded like a male name to her, Stephen had been changed to Stephanie when she became Twilight's analog. Having the name of another gender-bent gym leader would explain a lot. Trust me, you'll know when you get there, the orange Pegasus said as the timer on the washer expired. With no success, Fluttershy stood and trotted over to the dryer, digging her clothes out and breaking it to where Pinkie and Rainbow set up cots. As the Pokemon matches continued, Fluttershy slept into her cot, tired and worried, forcing herself to sleep through the incessant chattering of voices on the other side of the room.
Oh, does this mean we each are going to have a shower scene?
Yeah, I kinda did that. My shower scene just mainly involved me for some odd reason just standing in the middle of the shower, my forehead pressed against the wall and me laying my head in front while thinking some random emo thoughts.
Really? Mine just involved me bouncing around, jumping, and giggling and singing some songs. What about you, Fluttershy? Well, mine just involved me just standing in the shower, running my hose along my body, healing at every single curve as my hose proceeded to touch every single area. And Rainbow, why are your wings extended?
No reason. I just need a cold shower again. Night had long turned into the afternoon. A stream studied a map of Mauville City. Cleaned up and filled with food, they found an information booth alongside a sidewalk. Massive amount of graffiti littering its sides. Mauville is several times larger than any city Fluttershy had ever been in, making it hard for her to comprehend how many ponies could live in a city this large.
Have either of you found Mauville University yet? I can't see it anywhere.
Pinkie asked, nuzzling her muzzle against the map.
No, not yet. Here it is,
Fluttershy responded, pointing to the Chime Echo District on the western side of the map.
Chime, chime, chime. So that's where the stadium. So if that's there, then the stadium is.
She scanned the map again, instantly finding the stadium.
There.
It's on the opposite side of the city? Rainbow exclaimed, putting her head in her hooves in frustration. Where are we now?
Right here.
Fluttershy pointed at the southern section of the city.
If we want to get all three, we'll have to head to every part of town.
Well, what time is it now?
2:34.
Fluttershy explained. We have less than 5 hours to get to the stadium. We have no money for the bus and... Rainbow stretched out her bed to swing. I can't fly with this right now. Rainbow folded her wings and attempted to chart out the route to the stadium. There has to be a Pokemon Center close to the stadium, right? I think we should finish the gym fight, sleep, and give that professor a visit tomorrow. Then leave before that lunatic can track us here.
Shouldn't we talk to Maxwell first? Figuring out who that stallion is more important than a gym fight, right?
Just remember what your Pokedex keeps saying. We don't show up on time, you'll be banned from the league, and we'll no way to get the train we need to fight the stallion in the first place. Rainbow stated bluntly.
I guess,
Fluttershy said, disappointed by their lack of available time.
We should get moving then if we want to get there on time. Sorry about taking so long this morning, Piggy apologized, looking at her still more close. So we can still make it on time.
With half of their lunches in Fluttershy's bag, they began to track to Mauville Stadium, paying close attention to their only map. As the hours passed and the stadium drew closer, Fluttershy's own nervousness began to rise. Feeling unprepared and wary of making a scene at the gym fight, she kept her head low as they traveled. Along the sidewalks were shops filled with various odds and ends that could be seen through their windows. Windows that Piggy couldn't help pressing her muzzle against to peek inside. It never took too long for the Earth Pony to catch up as her excitement for the gym battle rose. Fluttershy looked over to Rainbow to gauge her feelings, noticing her eyes staring straight ahead, unwavering. She was obviously confident in her plan, which gave Fluttershy a small sense of relief. Along the streets there were vertical banners hanging out from every street light. They were light yellow with the silhouette of a pony with the swirl of hair hanging down its front and advertising the city's gym. Fluttershy couldn't tell what kind of pony the mare was, nor did she look familiar to her, causing her to believe that she wasn't an analog.
Hey, do either of you recognize those banners?
Fluttershy asked, prompting Pinky and Rainbow to give them another look.
I've never seen a pony like that before, Pinky explained. What do you think, Dassy?
If that's who I think it is, I can't believe she finally found her way here. Rainbow Dash intently focused on the bears, her face showing a deep thought.
I don't know. She looks familiar, but I can't place my hoof on it. Whatever, we'll find out soon enough. Oh, okay,
Fluttershy said, perplexed by Rainbow's slight familiarity with the mare. Fluttershy was now even more curious about her opponent as he continued down the sidewalk. Hours passed as the sun began shining the orange hue at dusk. The stadium loomed in the distance, rising as tall as any of the large buildings. Ponies swarmed the outside and accompanying areas. All of them were either headed to the stadium or out there already. Fluttershy's throat as he noticed the volume of onlookers, making her shiver. Two large beams of light shot up from the stadium into the sky, and a large screen lay near the entrance of the rectangular stadium, flashing many different images and videos of Pokemon fighting inside.
There are a lot more ponies here than I expected,
Rainbow spoke up, clicking her pace to reach the snake-like line that formed the entrance. Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy soon followed the Butter Pegasus, trying to keep up, keeping herself from hyperventilating. The roads near the stadium were blocked up by orange and white straight wooden blockades, while ponies in black wire riot gear that had the word police ran on their chests in white.
Why is there all this security?
Fluttershy asked as they tried past the blockade.
They can't do this every night, could they?
Did you see how popular these gym fights were with the ponies back in the Pokemon Center? I'm not surprised they had to increase security with us being the opponent.
Rainbow exclaimed, sounding proud of her boasting.
Nobody knows who we are, though. Do you think, Jessie?
Pinkie added, looking for the end of the line.
May is a Tivolier daughter, isn't she? They've obviously hyped that up and got ponies to buy them tickets.
That makes me think. Considering the levels of different Pokemon and the gym layers that are involved, what do the trainers who live in the city of the very huge Pokemon, of the bigger gyms do? Do they actually let you compete there? Do they actually let you try? Or are most trainers smart enough to go, that are in those big cities to go, no, I'm not going to fight the big guy. I'm going to go this way. Because we always start off in a small town. We never really start off in the big cities to fight out the larger trainers. The closest we get are when your dad is Norman. But he immediately says he doesn't want to fight you because, well, level differences. I wonder what it'd be like if there was a Pokemon game that started you off in a big city.
I really hope this is a Snarl attendance,
Fluttershy muttered, watching several ponies as they sat under an open tents, drinking at grilling festivals in an open concrete field. Several of the ponies began hollering and celebrating, downing drinks as they did so. There was a smell of barley and hops in the air, a strong air wafting over the stadiums outside. Fluttershy turned her head away from the Hoenns, noticing that they were now at the end of the line. Rainbow had already started a conversation with the pony in front of them, as Pinkie played with Lady.
Are there normally this many ponies here? Seems like a lot,
Rainbow yelled over the excited crowd.
Oh no, tonight is special, the Tan Unicorn stated. They were showing ads about this mystery trainer during the 9 o'clock match. It sounds awesome. Fluttershy turned her head to the unicorn full alert, trying to piece together why her mask was special. She peeked her head to the side, catching a glimpse of the screen. A shadow pony appeared on the screen with a red question mark over it, followed by a text of the final match of the night. The Pegasus gulped, realizing that both cheerleaders she faced before hadn't known about her either. With her nerves racking, she brought her attention back to the conversation to try to calm herself.
Hey, what time is it?
Pinky asked as she got up from letting Lady crawl on her stomach.
You think the line's gonna move soon?
6:43, the stallion said, watching a line begin to move in the stadium. Fluttershy turned to the tailgaters, seeing the pageant supplies and head back to the line as it moved at a relatively quick pace. The cheering grew louder as they approached, watching the line shrink until they arrived at 4 booths with ponies inside, taking tickets for the spectators' hooves. Okay, Fluttershy, I know you don't have any ground types, or rock types, or really any types that would be beneficial, but I should let you know, right now, Grottle's your best chance. I suggest leading with Grottle and have him take most of the blows. Wolfer might be good, but right now, you don't have anything that can actually just wall up the ground with a freaking electric type. Fluttershy was next. She cautiously tried up to the tired-looking mare in the window, wondering what to do.
Do you have a ticket, or are you here to purchase one?
We only have 100 left, the mayor explained.
I'm the challenger for the 9 o'clock match.
Fluttershy explained, watching the mayor give her a curious look.
You are, huh? Let me see your Pokedex. I need to see your trainer ID matches.
Fluttershy reached into her bag and pulled out her Pokedex, slipping it through the opening in the glass pane. The mayor and the booth quickly opened the device, flipping through the menus until it reached Fluttershy's ID.
78342. The paper says that as well.
The attendant closed the Pokedex and gave it back to Fluttershy. Unlocking the turnstile let the Pegasus through.
Oh, could you let my friends in as well? They're right behind me.
Fluttershy asked as Rainbow and Pinky waved over their hooves.
No, see, why not?
Rainbow and Pinky promptly thanked the mayor as they caught up to Fluttershy. When you go in, go down the first hallway and come across to the left. A security guard will see you in the waiting area.
Thank you,
Fluttershy said as they entered through the stadium's massive gates. Inside the stadium, under the seats, were dark, only a sparse number of fluorescent lights illuminating the area. Beyond the hallway lay a set of stairs leading up to the bleachers, a large set of doors at the ground level. Most of the crowd pulled up the stairs as several went up the booths, buying drinks and snacks. The walls of the entrance soon passed, leaving the 3 in the presence of a massive corridor to their sides, wrapping around the field. Fluttershy looking to her left, noticing the lone pony in a black suit, wearing sunglasses in the middle of the hallway. Curious, she and her friends trotted over to the stallion, distancing themselves from the ecstatic crowd. The noise of the crowd grew dimmer as they approached, giving the timid Pegasus a little peace of mind.
Are you trainer number 78342?
The stallion asked, lifting his sunglasses to get a better look in the mirror.
Yes, I am.
Fluttershy responded, handing her Pokedex to the stallion as she watched another similarly dressed stallion approach.
You must be the security guard the attendant was telling me about.
After the stallion went through the Pokedex, he gave it back to Fluttershy, and placed his sunglasses back on his face.
Right this way. Let me show you to your box seat as you wait for your match.
The guard turned and nodded to the other stallion, causing him to turn up to a distant flight of stairs.
Boxing? What's that?
Pinky asked excitedly.
I'm more curious about who this cheerleader is. Nobody said a word to us about it.
Yeah, but I keep hearing this song in the back of my head. Rainbow complained, glaring at Fluttershy.
Maybe somebody should have interrupted that stallion in the Pokemon Center.
Oh,
Well, Pony said that was a she, and what's just normally a male name?
Fluttershy stated, referring Rainbow's gaze.
She has to be an analog like Steven. But the stadium and city don't feel right. What do you mean? Nothing goes out of the ordinary to me.
Pinky says he began to ascend the plush crimson carpet stairs.
I don't know. It's probably something with base memories. Doesn't seem important at least.
The staircase climbed to midpoint of the stadium, leading to a narrow hallway with wooden doors on the right. It was less brighter than the area below, leading Fluttershy to believe this is a much classier area. The stallion headed to the door, trying to dust around the bend, opening and waiting for the 3 to enter. Excited, Rainbow and Pinky barged through the doorway, leading Fluttershy to enter the nice, plush, nicely furnished room. As he entered, First thing she noticed was the room-sized window gave her a clear view of the entire area. Ignoring the other furnishings, Fluttershy tried up to the window, noticing the massive amount of ponies in the stands. Uh-oh. Okay, Fluttershy, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on, girl. You can handle yourself.
It's a crowd! It's a crowd!
Oh, shoot. Cadence, start trying to do that little trick you taught Twilight.
Right. Okay, Fluttershy, you can do this. Breathe in. And out. And in. And out.
Not a single seat appeared empty as even more attendants swarmed the stadium. Fluttershy gulped and shivered, averting her eyes from the crowd, down to the field where a stallion stood with a green and pink-belled raptor-like Pokemon, leaves jutting from his arms, along one that floated down his arm. On the other side of the stage, with runes wires strewn across its empty floorboards.
Fillies and Gentlecoats!
The speakers blared, causing the crowd to remain silent for a moment.
Welcome to Ballville Stadium for tonight's entertainment. Each opponent tonight is fighting for the illustrious Dynamo Badge, which will bring him closer to Hoenn's Pokemon League and becoming Hoenn's new champion!
The crowd erupted in foot stomps and cheering. First I could hear the sound permeating the glass, secure as the stallion below stood tall.
This is so exciting!
He said, pressing a flowers to the muzzle of the glass.
Our first opponent is a technical engineering student from Malville University, showing him his Pokemon, Grizzle!
The stallion punched himself into the air as he heard part of the crew shouting, MU! MU! Ah, thank goodness it's not Peelberg University.
Look, Trixie is just worried that any university is going to start with the letter F.
The announcer announced.
Well, some of those ponies painted themselves red and white,
Rainbow said, looking at the crowd. Where's I turned to Rainbow, whose transfixed on the stage below?
You think I'll talk to that pony after the match? You know, save us from traveling under the way?
Yeah, sure, Rainbow said, shouting as soon as he was ignoring the timid Pegasus. Fluttershy again turned her attention back down to the stage.
Will this science major be victorious this day? Only one mare stands in his way. Introducing the gym leader that needs no interjection, but wants one regardless. The mare whose electric power can be seen in the legendary Malville Storms!
Oh boy, I dread seeing who this is. Hello, Trixie? Trixie? Where did she go? Oh, no. The lights of the stadium suddenly shut off. That explains the song that's been playing in my head, leaving only one spotlighting stage as the smoke began pouring from the floorboards. As the spectacle occurred, the crowd's enthusiastic roars grew to their highest point, giving Fluttershy the feeling that the stadium would shake apart. First I caught a glimpse of a light blue mare as she made her way out of the smoke, her light blonde hair swirling at both ends as she posed for the ecstatic crowds. Fillies and Gentlecoats, introducing Malville's own gym leader, the electrifying and powerful
Trixie! Trixie's in this big lash, folks! Did you miss her? Really? Come on. You knew you wanted the tricks. You knew you missed
her. Yeah, Trixie, we missed you. We all did. Oh, and to everybody who's enjoying the movie midnight screenings, have fun! I'll be there on Friday or Saturday to watch it.